Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Friday, February 25th. It's My Guy Knows a Guy on NBA betting today. This is the SportX Insights YouTube channel. Let's try to attack the schedule today. A very interesting night of basketball, some really entertaining games. The Hawks-Bulls game, the Grizzlies-T-Wolves game, those two particularly were very, very entertaining. I enjoyed them last night. I just want to give a shout out to everyone that has had time to watch on replay yesterday. We had a pretty good session on YouTube and on Twitter Spaces with some other guests. I encourage you guys to come join the Twitter Spaces sessions as well. If you guys can't join live, they're recorded. Some other bright minds are there as well. Definitely shit the bed last night with the Sacramento Kings. This team, that fourth quarter point differential, it definitely hurt. It was crazy to watch. I turned the TV off with like 5 minutes left, but at the end of the day, I picked a trash team. I had some other good pieces of advice on the live stream yesterday. Things did pan out with the Suns and the Bulls. I also projected that the Warriors would have a much better offensive output yesterday, and they did get the cover on the road. So I know that a lot of people did win some tickets. Shout out to everyone that did, but I'm trying to bounce back today. Let's see how it goes. I do want to say before I get started, we're going to go through the schedule. I'm going to share a couple of picks, and I do encourage everyone to hit the like button. And I just want to share that there is a $50 free bet for all non-US residents to use on sportx.bet. Check out sportx.bet. There's a link in the description, and you can actually just check that out on your own. Very simple process, and the money will be airdropped right to your account. Check out the platform. So yeah, let's get into the schedule. I'll start with the Houston Rockets. The Rockets are they're playing against the Orlando Magic. The Rockets on the road at the Magic. We have the Houston Rockets, who are 23-30, 23-34-1 ATS. The Magic are 26-36 ATS. The Magic do possess the worst record in the NBA, the absolute worst record in the NBA at 13-47. This is the Tank Bowl. There's not too much to say in this game other than that these are amongst the worst teams in the NBA, if not the two worst teams in the NBA. They do not have the desire to win. Let me just, is it stuttering? What's up, bro? Barlow, Katak, what's going on, everyone? Us Gooners, Jamrocks. Hey, so we have the Rockets and the Magic. This is the trash matchup of the day, obviously. These are two teams that have not shown the desire to win. Just look at the rosters that they've been fielding. A couple of interesting notes, though. The Rockets have defeated the Magic outright in their last two victories, and now they've shifted to the role of underdog. The Magic are one of the worst teams in the NBA covering at home. Kevin Porter Jr. missed his last two games with an illness, and Eric Gordon missed the last game as well, that big blowout to the Clippers just going into the All-Star break. So the Clippers blew these guys away. The Rockets are not playing any semblance of defense, but they're getting some reinforcements in this matchup. We have a Magic team that, they've fallen off precipitously. They had a couple of decent ATS performances maybe towards the earlier part of the season, but the defense that they've been playing recently, even against worse opponents, just hasn't been there. This is a game that I'm not betting on, but it's just noteworthy that, with the Rockets, this is the last time that they're going to be playing a team with one of the four worst records in the NBA. So after today, the Rockets' schedule is pretty much brutal for the rest of the way. They're not going to get to play any bottom tier teams after today. So I can see them putting forth the effort necessary to try to take this game seriously, but I can't trust either organization because of their intentions when it comes to trying to secure a top pick in the upcoming NBA draft. It's going to be very, very difficult for both of these teams to be above 500 ATS in the second half of the season, and just because of the front offices of both teams. The front offices of both of these teams cannot be trusted. This is a Magic team that lost at home by 21 points to the Hawks, a divisional opponent that has pretty much owned them over the years. I'm not going to bet on this game. I'm definitely not betting on this game. Just wanted to share some tidbits of information right there. So now we have the Raptors playing the Hornets tonight. My hometown Raptors, we've climbed to 33, 23, and 1 ATS so far this season. This is a team that has been ascendant over the last 2 months, making everyone money. They're playing a Hornets team that hasn't been able to cover. It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. The ATS streak, the downhill climb that this Hornets team has been on, because they do have some quality pieces on the roster, but this team, the way the Hornets are constructed, do not mesh well with each other. There's going to be a major shakeup for this Charlotte Hornets team after this season. Fred VanVleet is questionable for this game. He had a lingering injury before the All-Star break, but he's listed as questionable, and the Raptors are still favorites against a team with explosive firepower. I actually like the Raptors to cover today. If Fred VanVleet being questionable and them still being favored is very telling to me. Trying to read the line here. The Hornets, they lost their last 3 games ATS going into the All-Star break, although their schedule was a bit brutal. They played the Heat, the Grizzlies, and the T-Wolves. They've lost 11 of their last 13 games ATS. So unless they've had some magical resurgence over this 1-week break in the All-Star break, tweaking their offense, they would have to pretty much shoot lights out to defeat this Raptors team. Yeah, you see Fred is likely? Okay. Yeah, I think the Raptors will get it done today. I think the Raptors will get it done today. I actually have 2 other bets that I placed. I haven't bet the Raptors, but I'm just sharing my thoughts right there. When it comes to the skill set that the Raptors have, the defensive tenacity, they're going for the season sweep tonight. They're going for the season sweep tonight. Let's see how it goes. Now, just moving on to another game, we have where is it at? Yeah, the Miami Heat. We have the Miami Heat. They're -5 on the road against the New York Knicks. RJ Barrett is listed as questionable. He's missed the last 4 games. This is a Heat team that I have listed as one of the teams that I believe will be resurgent after the All-Star break, that will be ascendant, because they're finally going to be whole. They're finally going to be playing together. But when it comes to tonight's game, Caleb Martin, Dwayne Dedmon, and Tyler Hero are all questionable. I'm projecting at least 2 of these 3 guys to come back tonight. Okay. This is a team in the Knicks that have sidelined Kemba Walker for the rest of the season, but that actually could be a blessing in disguise for the Knicks over the long run. Not for tonight, but over the long run, because I'm of the belief that they should have, excuse me. I can hear myself on my phone. One second. I have YouTube open. Yeah. So Kemba Walker is sidelined, and I'm of the belief that they shouldn't have acquired Kemba Walker in the first place. The acquisition of Kemba Walker stunted the growth of Emmanuel Quickley. In my opinion, based on the sample size of data that we have from last season, they should have run it back with that core and try to really rapidly develop Emmanuel Quickley, because it seems like him taking the back seat, him being in the background for the majority of this season, he has stunted his growth, stunted his development. Well, now it's his time to shine. We're going to see how things progress at the point guard position for the New York Knicks over the course of the rest of the season. But when it comes to tonight's game, but for the Miami Heat against the New York Knicks, this is a team in the Heat. They're coming off a push against the Hornets, but they failed to cover in their last 3 games. I'm going to bet with the more quality side today. It's going to be a highly public play, but I do have a small bet on the Miami Heat -5 to get the New York Knicks out of the way. I do think we'll get better, more quality guard play, but it'll be very interesting to see what the betting public does if RJ Barrett is activated in this game. He is a difference maker for the Miami Heat. I know that the Heat have already destroyed the Knicks by 30 points this season in Miami, and the Knicks will probably be remembering this as well. It will come with a bit more intensity in the first half, but over the 4 quarters, I think that the Heat will get it done today. So Miami Heat -5 against the New York Knicks. Miami Heat -5 against the Knicks tonight is one of my bets. We're going to move on to 1 second. The San Antonio Spurs are on the road against the Washington Wizards. The Spurs are 30-28-1 ATS this season. The Washington Wizards, after the hot start that they had, are 23-34-1 ATS this season. I would say the Wizards have fallen off harder than any team in the NBA since the beginning of the year. This team is absolutely terrible when it comes to against the spread. Covering. When it comes to covering, they have not covered back-to-back games since January 3rd. You look at tonight's roster, the roster that they're fielding, they were able to defeat the Brooklyn Nets going into the All-Star break, but the Nets also, they were missing their stars as well, but due to their own circumstances. And Yeah, due to their own circumstance. Uh, but this Wizards team is definitely, they're stuck in a weird purgatory. They've won too many games to tank. It's the intention of the front office to try to secure a top draft pick over these last 24 games of the regular season, but they've won too many games to tank that hard. So this Wizards team, they're stuck in a rut. They're stuck in the middle of the pack, where they've pretty much hurt themselves with the amount of games, as sad as that is to say, in the modern NBA. But playing a team tonight in the San Antonio Spurs that, the messaging coming from their locker room is completely different. This is a team that is trying to make the play-in tournament, that's trying to make some noise, that's trying to show that their young core can be added to, that can be a foundation for their franchise, for their organization to move forward. The San Antonio Spurs roster is, I know that people are saying that, this team should be favored by more. Maybe this game is a bit suspicious. Maybe they should be favored by maybe -5, -5.5 even. But in my opinion, this game is priced accurately, but there is an edge. There is an edge for San Antonio in this matchup, and I have bet them. DeJounte Murray, Jakob Poeltl, you look at the front line, it could be thin. They may have to ramp up the minutes for Gafford, who fell off. Gafford had a really strong start to the season. He fell off. If Thomas Bryant can't go today, we're looking at 30-plus minutes for Gafford, and I can't really say why his production has decreased the way it has. But looking at the Spurs team, I think that they're going to apply pressure on this team, on this Wizards team, this lineup, and this Wizards team just doesn't have the pieces to shoot well enough from three, in my opinion. We do have a minor piece of injury news. Joshua Primo is questionable for the Spurs with a wrist injury tonight, but I think even if he doesn't play, the Spurs still have enough depth to get it done against this Wizards team. I've taken the Spurs -3 today. So I have the Spurs and the Heat. Spurs -3, Heat -5 tonight. At the end of the day, this is still a team that's under 500. So how high of a favorite on the road should they be? I think DeJounte Murray should get it done. No props for everyone today. Going to be cranking up the props this weekend. Just want to make sure that all of these players in the NBA, they are professionals, but I've given everyone a chance to really play one game. I want everyone to have, every player on every roster to have one game under their belt before I deploy props again. Just want to take a quick break to remind everyone that there is a free $50 bet for all non-US residents. Just click the form link in the video description below and claim that money. The money, it's free money, risk-free money. Crypto will be airdropped to your account. You can check it out, check out the platform, and enjoy it when you have time. Hope everyone's enjoying their day as well. So let's move on. I have the Spurs -3. I have the Heat -5. Okay, I have the Heat -5. There are quite a few players that I have circled for props research after today, everyone. So we're gonna crank up the engine. But I do Primo's out. Okay, that probably just came out. Thanks a lot for that. A bit less depth for them at the guard position, but I still like the Spurs. -3. I like the Heat -5. So we have the OKC Thunder. They played last night against the Phoenix Suns. They got ran out of their own arena with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander back. We saw with every game that Lou Dort misses, his value increases. I think that's one of the most undervalued contracts in the NBA with Lou Dort on the OKC Thunder. Okay, so they're playing the Indiana Pacers team, a new look Indiana Pacers team that is favored by 7.5 points tonight against the OKC Thunder, who were defeated last night and ran out. This team didn't play any defense. The Suns had 23 or 24 points in the paint in the first half. In the first quarter. In the first quarter, they bullied them. The Pacers don't have a similar personnel. This guy Terry does look good though of the Pacers. Taylor Terry for their future. They may have unearthed another gem at the big position. We'll see how things play out for them at the big spot for the Pacers. But this is a Thunder team that's 20-10 away. I would like Lou Dort to be in this game. I do see him listed as questionable to return. They're 20-10 ATS on the road so far this season. And I just don't think with the defense that the Pacers play, this is my opinion. I did not get involved in this one just yet, but I do not think that the Pacers should be favored by 7.5 points against anyone. They would have to shoot lights out from three, or the Thunder really have to do some wizardry with their roster before this game to really tank. I know it's the second night of a back-to-back, but the bench went really, really deep last night for the Thunder. And so let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes in this one. This is a sneaky Thunder team, sneaky Thunder team. It's one of those games that's going to reveal the intentions of the organization with the OKC Thunder. It's going to reveal the intentions of the organization. They, I want to see their level of competitive desire tonight. Are they going to go for it, or are we going to see? Now, we do have a couple of players that are listed as questionable. Let me pull them up for a second. To return, the Thunder could even get some reinforcements in this game. So 1 second. Yeah, just looking at things, we have Malcolm Brogdon game time decision to return. That would be a quality assertion for him for the team, insertion for the team. Malcolm Brogdon, he's missed a lot of time though. Even if he plays, be very wary of Malcolm Brogdon on day one. He's a player that, especially in the props market, you want to bet on him. You want to ride his ebbs and flows when it comes to his energy. So if you see him in, yeah, they are for such a bad team, they are. And so Malcolm Brogdon, that's actually a very interesting matchup if he does come back today against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. That's an interesting head-to-head matchup in this game. Josh Giddey, Aaron Wiggins, Darius Bazley, Derek Favors. Man, Derek Favors was getting bullied yesterday by the Suns. I watched all of that game. He was getting bullied. He can't be on the floor for too many minutes at this stage in his career, in my opinion. Crypto is OKC will be a first half team and fade second half moving forward. Yeah, I mean that's the script that they laid out for us from last season. If they adopt the same approach that they had last season, then the Thunder will be a bet against team for the remainder of the season, and you can see it. But let's see. Okay, they've ruled them out. Let me just get an update for everyone as well. I don't want to say anything wrong. It's the NBA news cycle changes so fast. It's possible some stuff came out while I'm on the live stream. Yeah, just like someone said in the chat, Romeo Langford is out. Josh Richardson is out for the Spurs. Josh Primo is out. Okay, so that's much less depth for the Spurs tonight against this Wizards team. Let's see where the line goes. For now, it hasn't budged. It's a very suspicious game. It's the first game of the day, Wizards and the Spurs. I think the Spurs will get it done. Murray for PRAs. I'm actually going to look at the prop market real quick. I want to see if it's offline right now. It's just an indicator, and I want to see were Murray's numbers already like juiced up before this news about Josh Richardson and Primo and some of these other guards. But what's the line? What's the line, Goat Status? For Josh Giddey under 1.5 threes. Just looking up some props information on the Spurs Wizards game because I do have money on this game. So Murray was at 21.5 points, okay? Jakob Poeltl, he should do damage today. Damage. Maybe not his points, but maybe his rebounds. I'm just taking that down as a data point moving forward. I didn't bet that. But there's a distinct edge. These guys they're gonna have to play a tighter rotation. They're gonna have to play a tighter rotation today. It benefits certain teams. Look at the T-Wolves last night. Seemed like they only played 7 guys. Yeah, it might be suspended. I'm looking at an aggregator. Murray's numbers are going up. Murray's going to have to give us about 38 points, 38 minutes today. Not points, but 38 points would be nice, but he's going to have to give us 38 minutes, 35 plus minutes, 37 minutes tonight. Hey, hit the like button as well, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your day. Come through on Twitter Spaces too, everyone. If you're here later, I'm gonna open a Twitter Spaces at 6 p.m. Eastern. some interesting guests today. If you guys want to hear some other people's opinions as well. It was a pretty good room yesterday. They won some tickets, especially in that Celtics game. Massacre. We'll see you there, bro. All right, so nothing on props right now, but I am monitoring Jakob Poeltl for the weekend. I'm monitoring Jakob Poeltl for the weekend. I can take a look. Jakob Poeltl's increased his points average by 3 points since January 1st. Just want to share that with everyone as well. Yeah, let's see what version of him comes to play today in terms of his scoring output. He gets a lot of his points from scrappy plays, but just because of his size and presence and his activity, his feet. If you guys watch Jakob Poeltl, his feet never stop moving. His feet never stop moving. He's coming off a big performance against the Thunder. We cashed that day with on the side, but 20 points, 17 rebounds for Jakob. You know, he's going to be a wrecking ball today. He's going to be a wrecking ball. We can move on from this game, though. I've already bet it. Yeah, monitor Siakam as well. Monitor guys that were high output before the All-Star break, like Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., LaMelo Ball. Monitor those guys today. Just going for your props picks after today. Really watch those guys closely. Because I took a lot of notes yesterday. A lot. Yeah, let's talk about that game. Let me get the odds. We'll talk about the 76ers and the T-Wolves. Okay, the line's up to -3. Sixers -3. Total is 229. As we know, James Harden will make his debut. I haven't seen an accurate report just yet in terms of what his minutes output will be today. How much time he will play. Is it gonna be a max effort sort of game? This is a Sixers team that's performed very well on the road this season. They're 18-11 ATS so far this season. But I'm not going to call James Harden a destabilizing force just yet, because he's still playing some skillful basketball when he is healthy. But this is a very sudden shift in basketball methodology for the 76ers. This is a completely different style that they're about to play because of a scoring dominant guard that they're going to have. That likes to defer, but is not always willing to defer. Okay, with James Harden. So the T-Wolves, they played a tough game. They exerted a lot of energy last night. I'll be honest. If the T-Wolves weren't playing a back-to-back, I would be on the T-Wolves. I would be on the T-Wolves in this game because of because of the sample size that we have of players being integrated, such big players being integrated, and those big teams being easy fades at the early onset of that player joining that team. We've seen it time and time again. Big time trade happens, big time acquisition, and it just doesn't go. The odds makers know that this is a very flashy team, very attractive team to bet on because of the amount of publicity and media attention that they're getting. But the 76ers, though, this is going to be a very devastating and potent force, a duo when healthy, with James Harden, with Joel Embiid. Let's see how Doc Rivers gets this to work. But I think it really could work. I think it could work for these guys. It's going to come down to health. It's going to come down to James Harden's hamstring. Remember, he still has hesitancy about he still has reservations about his hamstring. They got a gritty win last night. I'm not going to bet on this game. And if you're betting on the Sixers, I don't want to sway you off your bet. I just want to give my thoughts on players being destabilizing forces when suddenly changing environments. It's a completely different environment for these guys tonight, depending on how many minutes he's going to play. But basketball wise, James Harden pick and roll action. Who are you going to guard with Joel Embiid? This T-Wolves team does not play quality defense, although they did get some key stops last night when it mattered, even though there was some questionable decision-making. There was some questionable decision-making from the, one second, everyone, from the Grizzlies last night in the stretch. I know we all saw it. There was some questionable decision-making. Yeah, there was some questionable decision-making in the clutch moments from the Grizzlies last night, and D'Angelo Russell exploded. He exploded yesterday. What did I say yesterday? He's one of my favorite players to play on props. D'Lo, in this matchup tonight against James Harden. Remember as well, earlier in the season, the Sixers did lose outright at home to the Timberwolves. If you follow me on Twitter at MyGuyKnowsAGuy, I had the T-Wolves money line that night. It was a very, very risky play, but I did capitalize outright. Very different times right now. Very, very different times. James Harden is in town. So I'm very interested to hear your bets. Yeah, Ben Simmons is very weird to me why he is not taking we shouldn't be surprised. It's Ben Simmons, bro. He just took a year off to play Call of Duty. All right. No wonder he's not in condition yet. The season's already 55 games in. 55. I want to see if he's going to bet. If Ben Simmons will play, if he'll show up to that game in Philly March 5th. That's going to be a big game. Nets at 76ers. Is Ben Simmons even going to play? Will he show up to them? They'll be throwing shit onto the court. We're going to move on from this one. Those are my thoughts on this game. I don't think it's going to be easy. Yeah, give me 1 second, everyone. I'm moving on from this game. All right, yeah, the Phoenix Suns. So we have the Suns against the Pelicans. The Suns are down to -7 right now. They're down to -7. They're 228.5. Okay. This is a team like the Spurs and the Pelicans that's going to be trying to make a push. They're going to be trying to make a push for the play-in spot. They had a few disappointing results going into the All-Star break. They're trying to integrate CJ McCollum. We're hearing positive reports from their head coach, over the All-Star break. This is a Suns team that just played last night against the OKC Thunder. I favor this Suns team overall very highly, but this just could be one of those scheduling spots where they have to travel backwards from OKC. They're going back home. We're gonna see the depth tonight. We're gonna see if the depth for the Suns will shine tonight against a Pelicans team that really is hungry for a win. I'm just gonna dig into this game a little bit deeper because the line movement is very telling. A couple of conflicting dynamics in this game. The Suns, they're trying to prove to everyone that their success is not completely connected to Chris Paul joining the team. Players think like this. They think like this. They're trying to prove to the NBA that, okay, you guys think that all of our success is because from the day that Chris Paul came to the team, and you're not taking into account the hard work that we put in, the dedication to our craft, and our own personal development. Like, those players on the Suns roster are not the same players that they were in the bubble. All of them have evolved tremendously. This is a pesky Pelicans team. I know the game before the All-Star break against the Mavericks, the Pelicans really, really have been thinking about that game for quite some time. The depth on the front line for the Suns, they have the advantage, as we know, at the big position. Any big position, Jonas Valanciunas will have his work cut out for him today. This is a very sharp line, very, very, very sharp line without Chris Paul at home against a team that's trying to make. I lean towards the Pelicans, but I'm not going to bet against the Suns, unfortunately. I'm going to watch this game as a fan, and best of luck to everyone. I said that last year. Zion's out of there. I said Zion will be the first superstar to dip after his rookie contract. It's a cold world. It's a cold world. All the college basketball bettors, you'll be very interested on what I have to share on Twitter tomorrow. Just want to share that as well. Hint, hint. It's going crazy tomorrow. I do think there's a shot that this game could go over again, even on the second night of a back-to-back with the Pelicans and the Suns. This Suns team the Suns team with their points in the paint output and the pace that they were playing at last night was very telling of the direction that they want to go in without Chris Paul. On the second night of a back-to-back, they may have, I'm not going to say weak legs because this team really is built like that, but this Pelicans team might be a little bit fresher, where they're able to defend in certain instances tonight. But the key tonight is going to be the three-point line. We're going to have to watch that three-point line for the Pelicans very, very closely tonight. Let's see which Pelicans team arrives tonight in Phoenix. The Pelicans or the Spurs. The Pelicans, Spurs, and the Kings. I probably won't talk about the Kings for a while. The Pelicans, the Spurs, and the Kings are trying to make play-in pushes, and the Blazers. So just keep that in mind when it comes to the motivation of these teams. The Jazz and the Mavericks. I'll be honest with the lineups for this game. I was surprised that the Jazz were favored by such a small amount in this game. I have no play in this game. This is a game I have listed as one that I am very, very eager to watch because I do project the Jazz to be above 500 ATS in the second half of the season and to turn the quote unquote the light switch on and really, really get onto a stretch of covering. The Mavericks, though, their defense that they've been playing has been locked down. They are they're a dark horse team. If they would have made a trade, the right maybe cosmetic changes to their roster, you could have called them a dark horse team now with the level of defense that they're playing. They're going to be a live dog in any underdog scenario in the second half of the season. But the Utah Jazz, as I said, with the roster that they have, this is going to be their last run with Donovan Mitchell. I'm calling it right now. This is going to be their last run with Donovan Mitchell. There are going to be big changes to the Utah Jazz after this season, and they all know that. You're going to see a heightened level of urgency, a heightened level of activity, of effort from the Jazz, just making this final playoff push with this group. We're going to see how things play out. And then on the Lakers versus the Clippers tonight. Okay, we have LeBron listed as questionable, game time decision at other places. The total is 221. They're facing the Clippers today. Facing the Clippers, okay? The Lakers are a team that were destroyed by negative media attention over the All-Star break, although LeBron had a really good All-Star weekend. Personally, there's a lot going on behind the scenes for this game. This is a game that I will not be getting involved in. It'll be good to watch late night. It'll be the only game on, but this will be a highly contested game because the Clippers are a team that you can't count them out in the role of an underdog, But the Lakers, though, one thing I want to say, not to take this to a darker place, but I do think that the Lakers will get a strong officiating push in the second half of the season, and that will lead them to have a couple of surprising results. Will that be tonight? That remains to be seen, but we still have the LeBron being questionable game that we have to play on a night in, night out basis. So, it's crazy to say 60 games in. I still can't bet on the Lakers. Still can't bet on the Lakers 60 games in, but we will see how it goes today against the Clippers. And yeah, that's the live stream so far, everyone. I'm going to recap the picks. If you guys can, hit like on the video and help the video get 100 likes, whether you're watching on replay or live. Really appreciate everyone's time. These are the funnest times. Never felt better. So just want to remind everyone, all non-US residents, free SportX bet credit using the form using the link in the description. You can get a free $50 bet to use on sportx.bet. Crypto airdrop right to your account. And for today, I've taken the San Antonio Spurs -3, the San Antonio Spurs -3, and I have the Miami Heat -5 as a smaller bet as well. Those are my bets today. Check me out on Twitter at MyGuyKnowsAGuy. I will be sharing soccer and college basketball picks all weekend on my page. Things are going crazy right now. I need to send some screenshots of these tickets. I need to send some screenshots of these tickets actually, because check me out on Twitter. Visit sportx.bet. Make sure you guys get that free $50. It'll be sent right to your account. And enjoy your day. Don't go crazy on the weekend, but pick and choose your spots. Let's move on to another day. See you guys next time.